everybody, this is Nightwing2303 from kicksoncourt.com. Today we have the 12th installment of the Air Jordan project. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. As you can see, we have just a basic herringbone traction pattern. There are two pods, one on the forefoot and one at the heel. Everything else is surrounded by a solid rubber. This particular colorway is more of a translucent rubber, but it does have solid properties. It doesn't slip or things like that. Basically, the only time where I ever had a slipping point was within the first few hours of me playing in these. I slipped right here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but it's kind of rounded right here, and then it indents right there. I'm a little bit light on my feet sometimes when I go to push off, and so I just kind of like went off of that area and I slipped. Basically, all I had to do was just make sure that my strikes were really at that base, or I don't know what you call it, but like the palm, I guess, of your foot. Just make sure that all of your strikes are here. Push off and things like that. Make sure that all of your footing is planted perfectly, because if you'd be real light on your feet right here, these guys especially, it's kind of rounded and you're going to get a little bit of slippage. So that's the only real tip. Other than that, I thought that traction was perfectly fine and I had absolutely no complaints afterwards. I'd probably just give these a solid 9, only because it's a little bit unstable where the rounded edges are, but other than that, as long as you make sure that your footing is proper, then you'll be good to go. The Air Jordan 12 is a little bit bulky, especially compared to a lot of today's shoes. However, these things are they're comfortable. Like, I can't even tell you, like, they're comfortable just walking in them casually, but playing in them you get a totally different experience from that full-length Zoom unit. This unit has literally a full-length, like it's a one-piece bag of Zoom Air from forefoot to heel. It's a very large unit. It's not very thick, but it's large and as well as far as its length goes. And then everything else is just Phylon. The Phylon takes a little bit of time to break in, but other than that, everything is just super, super cushy, and it's got a weird kind of spring effect, sort of like a very minimized LeBron 10 kind of feel. LeBron 10s are way more springy than this, but I was definitely surprised because you don't get that feeling out of targeted Zoom units. Targeted meaning that there's one placed in the forefoot and there's one placed in the heel. Since this is a continuous bag full length, you get like one crazy ride from heel to forefoot. It's literally incredible. Like, you've got to try these out on court. I'm not joking. This is probably one of the most comfortable shoes, period. Not just Air Jordan, but this is just a very comfortable shoe. So cushion, I just think it's perfect. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. The Air Jordan 12 is built like a freaking tank. Like, these things, like, you cannot destroy this shoe. You could try. I actually do have pairs where like the soles fell off and things like that from the glue wearing out, but as far as the actual shoe goes, you're not going to really damage these things. Even for a retro, this thing is built Ford tough. The leather does take getting used to. Everything on this particular model is leather. Everything from the overlay panels to the upper itself. And the only other material that's on here is a little bit of mesh, and that's just right on the sides of the tongue. It's not anything crazy. Doesn't do much and all that stuff. It's just a little bit comfort and things like that. The reason why I chose this colorway with a leather upper is because this is exactly what Jordan used to play in. You know, the pairs that have nubuck and things like that. I do have the nubuck 12s, the black and Carolina ones, but you know, he never wore those, so I don't have any desire to wear those on court. It probably would have a little bit of an easier break-in time than something like this, just because this is like a full-on kind of stiff split grain leather. But once this does break in, it feels great. Leather is one of those materials where either you appreciate it or you don't. I personally do appreciate it. If you don't appreciate it, that's fine. You can stick with your plastics and your synthetics. But if you do like leather, this is one of those shoes where you're just going to be in love with them from beginning to end. From the day that you put them on, from the first day to the last day when they finally are, you know, ready to get buried. Materials overall, I'd probably give these also a solid 9, just because it's not a full grain leather like they used to be originally, but it is still good. So just give it some break-in time and you get used to it. But yeah, just a solid 9, and that's pretty much what it is. As far as the fit, you know, these guys, like this one here fits me perfectly fine. This is size 9. The newest ones that recently released, the Playoff 12s, and there's another one, the Obsidian 12s. Those two kind of fit me a little